Paul O'Toole, a 20-year veteran in the industry. You've seen a lot of changes, a lot of coming and going in that time. Some highs, I suppose, some lows. What, looking back, do you see as the developments, positive and negative, over the last couple of decades?
Well, Eamon, I suppose looking back over that period of time, the really big difference is the scale of the industry. We now have a far, I suppose, bigger industry than we did when I came in. I came in the early 90s, and the big changes at that time were government were looking to the sector to deliver on its economic necessity, unemployment, very similar to today. The industry had said, we can grow this industry if we get support from government and indeed support from the EU. So there was a very exciting period in the early 90s where the investment confidence came into the industry, developers developed, infrastructure was developed, the government got behind it, the EU got behind it. Ireland became very fashionable at the dawn of the Celtic Tiger, and the business started to go through the roof in the 90s. And it really, I suppose, peaked and reached crescendo at the turn of the millennium, and everything was going fine. And then, of course, we had to deal with crisis after crisis in this decade. And I suppose the big changes have been how the industry has managed to get through that, is still resilient, and has managed that period of change no matter what's being thrown at it, and the scale that is there right now.
Great, and of course, it's always been known as a cyclical industry, tourism having good times and bad. Do you think this is a normal down cycle, or are we seeing something a bit more sinister?
This is a particular crisis or difficulty that we're having now is quite different than previous ones that have been in my experience. And the main difference is that all of our markets are under pressure, including the domestic market, at the same time. I think that's what makes it different. In the past, even post 9/11, when the bottom started to drop out of the US market, Britain actually did very well. Mainland Europe then surged ahead, and when Britain, I suppose, went off the boil a little bit and the US was in recovery, mainland Europe powered ahead. Right now, all of our core markets are under pressure at the same time, and that makes it both quantitatively and qualitatively different. How we respond to that, I think, is going to be critical for our future.
Okay, I suppose being the first CX of Tourism Ireland, which in itself was a challenging job, just getting that organisation together and off the ground and up working, that probably has been the highlight of your career so far. What are the particular challenges ahead for Tourism Ireland, do you think, as an organisation and in terms of its role for international marketing of the island?
I think we have to continue to do what we do well, and to evolve and innovate in terms of our marketing. It's vitally important that we understand the customer in the international marketplace, and that how we promote to them is done, I suppose, in synergy and in symphony with industry. And I don't think we can ever be complacent about that. That's something we work very hard at. We work hard to ensure that our message in the marketplace reflects the Ireland tourism proposition, and that we're clever and innovative in how we portray that. And that's what we are attempting to do. But you can never say this job is done. You've got to go back and keep understanding what's happening with the customer, align the marketing, and if you like, come back and be a voice for the marketplace to the tourism industry here on the island of Ireland.
Okay, and I suppose, Paul, those of us who know you would know that part of you probably would wish to be with us as we work our way through this down recession, and we also would love to have you with us, but that's the way the world is, life moves on. As you go on to a new career, new challenges, you're confident about the future of Irish tourism?
I really am. I've been reflecting, I suppose, as I leave this organisation and I move to a new one in a very different arena. I've been reflecting on my 8 years with Tourism Ireland and my almost 20 with the industry overall, and it's been absolutely wonderful. And I've sort of been thinking about why it's been wonderful, and it is utterly about the people that you deal with. This is a positive industry. The people in my own organisation, Tourism Ireland, the people in the industry, they're really magnificent. I've made excellent friendships, and they're very important to me. But I suppose more important to that, we work with people who want to get on and do things, who deal with the brickbats that are thrown at them, who are resilient, who are doing the things necessary to survive now for a better future. And that ultimately is what's going to see us through. I had the pleasure of talking to a group of industry people through the Irish Hospitality Institute recently, one of many engagements I've had over the years. And every time I go, I personally draw energy from the energy of the tourism people that I'm dealing with. And that, Eamon, is what's going to see us through this crisis and every other crisis that's thrown at us.
Thank you indeed, Paul. That's terrific, and I know you'll need to be drawing on those reserves of energy in your new position, but it goes without saying that everybody in the industry thanks you for your tremendous efforts, your tremendous success over the last 8 years, and wish you very well and every success indeed in that very new, difficult position as Chief Executive of FOSS.